Imagine an empire so powerful that not even Rome could dominate it. A kingdom of unbeatable warriors, brilliant strategists, and shrewd rulers who humiliated the Roman legions in battle, defying the greatest power of the ancient world. But then, what went wrong? The Parthian Empire built one of the richest and most feared domains of antiquity, yet its trajectory was marked by intrigues, betrayals, and decisive battles that forever changed the course of history. Today, we will dive into the meteoric rise and unexpected fall of this civilization that almost rewrote Rome's fate. You will uncover the secrets of the great Parthian kings, the tactics that made their army legendary, and the events that sealed their destiny. But before we plunge headfirst into this twist-filled story, make sure you're subscribed to our channel. And of course, don't forget to hit the notification bell. That way, you won't miss any of our videos brimming with historical curiosities about ancient Rome and its powerful neighbors. Are you ready to dive into an era of conflicts and social change? Then let's discover how it all began. The legacy of a forgotten empire. The emergence of the Parthian Empire had its roots in the heritage of the ancient Persians, especially the Achaemenids. After Alexander the Great's conquest, this region teemed with different languages, cultures, and ambitions. While Alexander's generals established their kingdoms, the so-called Hellenistic kingdoms, various local tribes maintained their pride and dreamed of reclaiming the power that once was theirs. In this cultural melting pot, the Parni tribe, led by Arsaces I, emerged with a blend of warrior tradition and adaptability. Unlike the Seleucids, who tried to impose Greek customs, Arsaces I leveraged Persian identity to gather support, promising independence and prosperity to all who joined his cause. But what truly made the Parni stand out was the tenacity of Arsaces I. He exploited the administrative weaknesses of the Seleucid governors to seize the province of Parthia, laying the foundation for the future Parthian Empire. It was a bold move for someone many considered merely a tribal chief. The dream of rebuilding a great Persian nation was just beginning. Have you ever wondered how these first steps shaped the destiny of an empire? Leave your like now to encourage us to bring more intriguing stories like this. The conquest of Parthia was only the beginning. Let's see how Mithridates I took this new kingdom to unimaginable heights. Mithridates I, the great conqueror. Once the foundation was set, it was up to Mithridates I to transform a newly conquered territory into a consolidated power. Renowned for his charisma and leadership, Mithridates I was a master at uniting clans and exploiting his enemies' disunity. He knew that Parthia was only the tip of the iceberg. There was an entire world to conquer, from Media to Mesopotamia. Throughout his campaign, Mithridates I demonstrated respect for local traditions and shrewdness in forging peace agreements. Cities once aligned with the Greek kingdoms opened their doors to his army, provided stability, and lucrative trade routes were secured. In this way, the Parthian economy began to flourish, driven especially by the famous Silk Road. But make no mistake, Mithridates I wasn't just about diplomacy. He was extremely strict on the battlefield, demanding discipline and honor from his warriors. This combination, respect for the conquered cultures and disciplined military might, propelled the Parthian Empire's astonishing growth. And this growth would soon capture the attention of a rival formidable enough to challenge it, the Roman Republic. And when did Rome enter the scene? That was the moment when two giants collided for the first time. The first contact with Rome. Even before a direct confrontation erupted, there was a diplomatic encounter. Lucius Cornelius Sulla, one of the foremost Roman generals, received Parthian emissaries to discuss borders and shared interests. The Euphrates River was designated as a provisional dividing line, Yet the truth is that both sides still saw each other as irreconcilable rivals. Rome considered the Parthians an obstacle to its eastern expansion, while the Parthians knew they'd need all their tactical ingenuity to face the legendary Roman legions. In Parthian culture, the way you presented yourself at a diplomatic meeting signified respect or disrespect. When Sulla made a point of sitting at the center of the room, it became clear that he considered himself superior. For the Parthians, that was an insult. This seemingly insignificant detail ended up sealing an enmity that would last for centuries. Despite the brief non-aggression pact, tensions continued to escalate. Some regions in Anatolia and Syria were under dispute, and at any moment, a spark could ignite a battle of unimaginable proportions. Meanwhile, Rome was increasing its political clout, with ambitious leaders like Pompey and Crassus growing ever more eager for glory and conquests. Did you already know this intriguing detail about the first contact between the Parthians and Romans? Write in the comments and share your thoughts. But this power struggle was soon to reach another level when an extremely wealthy Roman decided to push beyond any frontier. Crassus and his thirst for glory, Marcus Licinius. Crassus was famous in Rome for his colossal fortune. He had one clear objective: to secure grand military victories to rival the glories of Pompey and Julius Caesar. Thus, he decided to invade Mesopotamia, a crucial region of the Parthian Empire, believing that gold and prestige awaited him on the other side of the desert. What Crassus didn't count on was the Parthian cunning. Led by the renowned General Surena, the Parthian warriors boasted swift cavalry and archers, skilled enough to shoot arrows even while retreating. Accustomed to traditional Roman formations, Crassus underestimated his enemy. To him, it would be just another easy military campaign. The result of this hasty audacity was the fateful Battle of Carrhae. Surena employed ambush tactics and decimated the Roman legions in open terrain. The Roman defeat was devastating, culminating in Crassus's death, the capture of the legionary eagles, the ultimate symbol of military honor in Rome, and a colossal humiliation for the Roman Republic. From then on, the name Parthia would come to inspire fear throughout Roman territory. After annihilating an entire Roman army, what else could the Parthians conquer? Great advances and counterattacks. The triumph at Carrhae opened doors to new ambitions in the Middle East. Confident, the Parthian king believed he could extend his dominions beyond the banks of the Euphrates. They even invaded Syria, provoking panic in several cities that had previously been loyal to Rome. Treasure and trade routes became increasingly valuable. Rome, however, would not remain idle. After a period of reorganization, generals like Mark Antony, the same who was part of the Second Triumvirate with Octavian and Lepidus, began planning retaliations. Yet fortune did not seem to favor the Romans. Military setbacks and internal problems prolonged Parthian dominance over some strategic regions. This period also marked an intense cultural exchange. Parthian merchants gained access to goods from the East, which flowed into the Roman provinces. Likewise, Greek and Roman influences were absorbed by the Parthian elites, creating a rich blend of customs. The Parthian court shone with jewels, silks, and spices, reflecting its control over the trade route that connected the Far East to the Mediterranean. If you're enjoying this journey back in time, please share the video. That way, more people can learn about the history of this fascinating empire. But not everything was rosy in such a vast empire. Internal intrigues can be as dangerous as enemy armies. Want to know more? Intrigues and throne disputes. At the height of its expansion, the Parthian Empire was already showing signs of internal fragility. Several members of the aristocracy vied for royal favor, and powerful generals questioned the central authority. Many nobles saw a king's temporary weakness as an opportunity to seize power for themselves. Thus the Parthian throne became a target for conspiracies and even assassinations. This dispute weakened the frontiers, as each noble maintained his own armies and personal interests. Meanwhile, Rome, despite its setbacks, continued to strengthen. Internally, especially after Octavian, the future Augustus, became the most powerful man in the Roman world, establishing the empire. At any moment, the rivalry could reignite. Many historians view these internal conflicts as the main reason the Parthian Empire never managed to destroy Rome during its most vulnerable moments. Had there been more unity, perhaps history would have ended differently. Still, the Parthians maintained a significant presence in the region, delaying any definitive occupation attempts by the Romans. And when Rome became an empire, were the Parthians ready to face a more concentrated and powerful adversary? The era of Roman emperors. With Augustus in power, Rome ceased to be a republic and became a solid, more bureaucratically organized empire. Augustus preferred diplomatic agreements to prolonged wars, especially in the east. He knew that Parthian power should not be underestimated, so he sought to maintain peace through treaties, demanding, for instance, the return of the legionary eagles captured at Carrhae. Even with treaties and moments of calm, Armenia continued to be the bone of contention. Both Rome and the Parthians desired control over this strategic kingdom. The Romans even installed puppet kings on the Armenian throne, while the Parthians did the same in response. This political military chess game would last for decades. This period was also marked by a kind of mutual admiration. Roman generals spoke with respect about the Parthian cavalry and the power of their arrows, while Parthian kings recognized the importance of Roman engineering and administration. As direct confrontation subsided, the cultural influences of both sides grew, maintaining a sort of Cold War in the Middle East. Have you ever wondered how these conflicts shaped the geopolitics of the time? Comment below and share your opinion, but don't think that peace would last forever. New emperors emerged, each with their own plans for glory. Trajan and Rome's ambitions. When Trajan ascended to the imperial throne in Rome, he sought to resume expansionist policies. Under his command, the legions marched eastward with the objective of finally eliminating the Parthian threat. Initially, the Roman advances were successful. He invaded Armenia, killed the king supported by the Parthians, and transformed the region into a Roman province. Encouraged by these early victories, Trajan advanced toward Mesopotamia, capturing important cities, including the Parthian capital, Ctesiphon. However, maintaining these territories proved to be more difficult than conquering them. Rebellions erupted throughout the empire, and a Jewish uprising absorbed crucial resources from the legions, forcing Trajan to retreat. Trajan's death prevented him from consolidating his dream of a Roman East. And although the Parthians suffered losses, they managed to reorganize and regain control over much of the territories once conquered. This back and forth over territorial control was a characteristic of the relationship between Rome and the Parthians, always shifting according to the strength of the leader in power. Even after Trajan, other emperors would try their luck against the Parthians. Did anyone ever truly manage to win this struggle? Rome, the Parthians, and the end of an era. The following years were marked by wars of attrition. Emperors like Septimius Severus achieved some advances, even sacking Ctesiphon again. But the truth is that these Roman victories, although significant, were not permanent. The decentralized nature of the Parthian Empire allowed it to retreat, reorganize its forces, and continue to trouble its invaders. The struggle continued until internal problems became unsustainable for the Parthians. While the Romans dealt with succession intrigues for the imperial throne, the Parthians were engulfed in noble conflicts and power struggles. The local aristocracy craved more independence, and regional revolts became frequent. In this scenario, the figure of Arsaces I emerged, a Persian leader who exploited Parthian weaknesses to the fullest. He gained popular support by promising to restore authentic Persian greatness. Step by step, he dismantled the foundations of the Parthian Empire, until he finally proclaimed himself the founder of the Sassanid Empire. An era was coming to an end, but the Middle East would continue to be the stage for many bloody chapters between the Sassanids and the Romans. Impressed by so many twists and turns? Leave your like and share with someone who loves ancient history. Now, we just need to understand how the final outcome unfolded for this empire that dared to face Rome head-on. The fall of the Parthians and the birth of a new empire. Artabanus IV was the last great Parthian king to try to keep the empire standing. However, his efforts were in vain in the face of the relentless advance of Arsaces I. In 224 AD, a decisive battle marked the definitive end of the Arsacid dynasty. The ancient Parthian glory was replaced by the Sassanid regime, which would usher in a cultural and military resurgence in the region. Without internal support and with an increasingly fragmented aristocracy, the Parthian Empire disintegrated. Some nobles fled to remote regions, while others sought agreements with the new ruler, hoping to retain minimal privileges. Arsaces I's consolidation was swift and decisive, changing the political map of the Middle East for more than 4 centuries. The fall of the Parthian Empire was not just a single event. It symbolized the transition of power in Western Asia. Rome lost its most persistent enemy, but gained another equally tenacious adversary, the Sassanid Empire, which would give Roman emperors plenty of trouble. With that, we come to the end of a story filled with betrayals, heroes, spectacular conquests, and memorable battles. The impactful legacy of the Parthian Empire. The legacy of the Parthian Empire lives not only in historical records, but also in the way it influenced Persian culture and shaped the politics of the entire region. Even after its fall, the courage of warriors like Surena and the visionary leadership of kings like Mithridates I continued to inspire generations in search of independence and greatness. If you were impressed by the daring of the Parthians in facing Rome, remember that history is always a mosaic of different perspectives. Each battle, each agreement, and each crown tells us a little about how humanity evolved. If you enjoyed this journey back in time and want more fascinating stories about the ancient world, subscribe to the channel right now, leave your like, and share this video with your friends. That way, we can continue to bring even more epic content. Thank you for watching, and see you at our next encounter about ancient Rome and its great enemies.